everybody, this is Etho, and welcome back, guys, to another episode of our Let's Play series. Check this out. I saw something super cool over here. We have a squid stuck in a 1x1 thing of water here. I've never seen that happen over here before, so I thought that was kind of cool. We're going to have a brand new friend. Hopefully he'll stick with us for a while. Call him Cthulhu. Whenever I get a pet squid, though, they always die. I don't know how they do it. He's going to find a way to suffocate, though, I'm sure. But we'll keep him as long as we can here. So, guys, today, to begin with, I have a brand new redstone concept to show you. We're going to look into how we can store memory in Minecraft. So, currently, in the game, there's probably... We're going the wrong way. There's probably two main methods of doing it. You got piston tapes. I'm sure a lot of you know what piston tapes are. It's readable memory. It's kind of big. It's bulky. You can't really change the length of it. It's kind of a fixed state memory, and you can't really write to it. Then we have like T flip-flops, and we can use redstone to store memory, but that becomes very big, very bulky, and very slow. So today I was trying to think of how can we finish up this Simon game, because I ran into a problem where it's going to be too slow. The idea I had became very big and bulky, and there was no way to do a turn in less than like 20 seconds, so that was a pretty big snag to the project here. So I was thinking about ideas of how to store memory. First, let's look into maybe some of the issues of storing memory. So let's say, for example, an arrow is a 0, stone block is a 1 in memory here, right? So we can send it through a hopper and detect, you know, if it's an arrow or a stone block, and then cause different things to happen. But then when we want to recollect all the stuff together here, what happens is it stacks in the chest, right? So we lose all that positional important information of like where all the blocks were, and now next time we read through this, it's going to be 8 arrows and 10 stone blocks, not the order we had before. So that kind of sucks. So another idea here is to maybe use items that don't stack, such as swords. So we put a sword in here and it makes a signal length of 3. We can detect the difference between an item that doesn't stack and one that does very easily. So that only goes the distance of 1. It doesn't turn the light on, while the sword does. So we can detect the difference between the two without using item filters. That's kind of cool. But likewise, same problem happens here. Because we're using an item that stacks the stone blocks, check out what happens. Now, it works the first time, but because item stacks, it messes up all the positional information, which is what's really key here. And next time we want to read through this, it's going to be all messed up. So that's no good. The other problem is we can't really detect a difference between items that don't stack. We can't run these through an item filter and figure out, oh, that's a diamond sword, and this is a diamond axe. There's no difference we can detect between these two. They both emit a signal of 3, and we can't check what the item actually is. So that's a big issue as well. Yeah, so I was trying to solve this problem today, guys, because if we could get this sort of memory to work, it's going to be a pretty big deal. It'll be a huge improvement to like redstoning in Minecraft. We'll be able to do more complicated stuff. And it turns out it actually is possible. So there's one item in the game, in Minecraft, that doesn't stack. It's one item per stack that we can manipulate to figure out what it is, if it's a 1 or a 0. And that is the water bucket. Or lava bucket could work as well, but I think water bucket's a little easier to pull off in survival here. So what we want to try to do here is make a water bucket reader machine, I guess is what it would be called. I have an idea of how to do it. Might take a little bit of figuring out. I want to see how fast we can get it to work as well, if possible. So in Minecraft, you can place water buckets using dispensers. That's pretty key to this. So if we put that in here and we power it, whoosh, we got water. And then we can pick it up again afterwards too, which is nice. If that wasn't a water bucket, let's say it was a sword, another item that doesn't stack, instead of like placing the water, it'll shoot the item out. So we can use those two differences to figure out what item is actually in there fairly easily. So what I'm thinking we do, we set up an observer block, like over here. Wait, which way do we face it? That way, yeah. So if it places water, it'll trigger the observer block. If it's a sword that shoots out, it's not going to do anything, right? And then below here, we can have a hopper. If it's a sword, it'll go into the hopper, and then we can detect that. If it's a water bucket, it's not going to go into the hopper, it's going to trigger the observer. So those are the two differences. Alright, so it's not done here just yet, but this will show you the key concept and also the key difficulties or challenges with doing this. So this is our data reader. What we'll have is a data stream, the water buckets and some other non-stackable item like a shovel, for example. They'll be arranged here. We want it to run through our data reader and trigger the redstone. Either this light will turn on or this one. And then it'll end up in this chest down here in the exact same order it went in originally. That's the goal of all of this, right? So here's the first challenge. So if we just let this go, it's going to fill up the dispenser, and then this is going to shoot it out in a random order, and then it's going to not end up in the same order down here. So that's a big no-no. We need to handle this one item at a time. If it's a water bucket, it'll do something like this. So we're going to eject it and pick it up right away so that it's still a water bucket in the system. And you see it triggered this observer over here. That light turned on. If it's a shovel in there, it's going to go into this hopper, into the chest down there, and a comparator can detect that very easily. You notice, though, we have no way of sending the water bucket into this chest. That's our first real big challenge here. If we put a hopper underneath, that'll kind of work, but as soon as that goes in there, it's going down. We don't have time to activate it for the observer to detect it, right? So we need to somehow lock this hopper as that happens, and then as soon as it picks up the water again, then this unlocks and puts into the chest. Ah, yeah. So this is a little bit later, guys. I've been fine-tuning this, trying to get it perfect, working on the timings of everything, and I think it's about good now. This is basically a hard drive in Minecraft, if you guys aren't understanding exactly what I'm doing here. So up here, we have 8 bits of information, or a byte, a 11010101. What does that mean? That means nothing until we actually make it do something, basically. But our reader device is able to read it pretty much as fast as possible. The speed of hoppers, 2.5 items can flow through a hopper per second in Minecraft, and that's how fast this can read it. So check this out. We're going to unlock this. Also pay attention to the ordering, because we want to preserve that as it goes through the reader. Aha! So there we go. And down here, exact same order as before. All the water is back in the buckets, which is also important. Now, just because we can read the information that quickly with this doesn't mean we would always want to. A lot of the times we probably just want to let one bit of information through at a time. And that's easy to do as well. Just do something like this. You heard the water bucket go through, and that's where it is over there. So for my Simon memory game, for example, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to let one of the answers through. And that's either going to display it on the screen, or it's going to check if my input matches red, green, blue, or yellow. We need 2 bits of information to represent one of the 4 choices. Aha. And this is also the key behind computing, if you didn't know that. So let's say we wanted to do math. You can add numbers together, binary. We can use this for making musical sequencing. We can use it for making a display, for example. Let's say we wanted an 8x8 display in Minecraft. One of these readers might represent a single pixel on that screen. And if we had 64 of the readers, we could update the display 2.5 frames per second and like totally animate it if we supply it with a stream of data. Aha. Lots of different things you can do. You also store programs using memory, so you could make a programming language in Minecraft. Lots of crazy things. We might get more into it later, but just want to show that off for today, and let's go do something else. Okay, so I tell you what we're gonna do. I thought about it for a bit here. We're gonna do something I've been dreading. Just dreading. Don't want to do it, but we gotta do it. I got called out on it recently again on that eye candy episode. A lot of people were like, Etho, you gotta finish this pyramid. It looks so ugly. I don't know what to do with it though. I'll show you what I did before when I tried to finish it. So over on this side, did a lot of experimenting. Nothing really worked. And I mixed in a bunch of spruce wood, made these little arches and things. I gotta tell you guys though, I really suck at building in the desert. Like I tried to build in a lot of different styles. I think the desert or sandstone themed stuff I have the most trouble with because I don't know if there's really... I don't know what blocks to use with it. Like I just can't figure it out. I like the gates here, right? But there's only one type of block here, just sandstone. I don't know how to mix anything in with it and make it look good. You know, a little bit of wood here and there, like spruce wood, sure. That's fine. But if you have too much of it, like we have on that side of the pyramid, I think it looks really ugly. And I've seen other people's desert builds, and I honestly haven't really liked anything I've seen. Like, no desert builds? It's just one of those themes I don't think looks very good. But we'll try it out here. So anything is better than what we have here. This is just a big flat wall. We got to give it some personality. So I was figuring, I do kind of like the shape of those gates and what we did there. So maybe we can try to mimic that style. We're not going to mix really any wood in with this, I don't think. We're going to try to give it contrast using shadows instead of different textures like spruce wood. Alright, so maybe we bring the corner out. And we're going to do this castle wall sort of style. Because that creates a lot of shadows. I think it looks cool. And maybe we will do a bit of arches as well. Actually, let's bring this up one more block. I want this corner to kind of stand out a bit more. Bring this up one more block. Like so. Alright. And then let's try do an arch here. Okay, yeah, let's check this out. So let's take a step back. Looks pretty plain. Ah, man. Okay. How about we do a little bit more with this corner? Let's bring it out one more block and maybe make it a bit wider, like 5 blocks. 5 blocks, 1 block out. We'll try that out. Yes, yes, yes. So that's better, right? I think that's better. Kind of a key concept of why shaders look so good is it creates a lot of different shades on a block, right? And shadows. Likewise, by building out like this, by bringing this forward 1 block, it creates a shadow over there, which adds contrast to the build. And same with the arch over top there. Now we have shadows on the wall there. And it just, by having those variations, it makes the build a lot better than a flat wall, like we had here originally, is my concept anyway. So I realize this is about the same shape as one of those corner things over there, actually. So let's duplicate. Oh, we fall down again. Let's duplicate what we did there. So I think it's these 2 blocks are stairs. I'm going to fall again. I can feel it. Turn these into stairs. Nope, not that way. And that way we have sort of a running theme throughout this build as well, because it's kind of copying what we did there. Okay, and then I think it's at this level. We had a stair that going this way, and we'll break this off. This gives it way more personality that way. And there. So I think that'll look pretty good. We might remove blocks here as well, kind of like we have over there. Okay, and then let's maybe try just so it's not like an arch and then an arch and an arch. Let's break it up. We'll do something like this. Little short little piece and then another arch over here. And in between here we might put some birch wood. Right over here, right? Nope, wrong way. Okay. Okay. You gotta be careful when you're building not to have too much of a repeating pattern. You want to break it up a little bit. That way it stays interesting. And finish up the top here, and then we'll check it out. Okay, and there we go. Let's go take a look. And we're going to try to do this on each of the layers. Okay. That's kind of cool. We got to get rid of the blocks over there, though. I think that's messing up the look a little bit. Also, I feel like we need something up at the top there. It's pretty plain still. How about if we replace these with stairs? Do something like that. Maybe that'll be cool. Or maybe we need to bring a line forward. Like, you know what I mean? Like run some blocks like over top here and run a line. We'll try this first. Okay. Oh, I'm seeing a lot of faces now. Looks like they're angry. All right, so check it out, guys. I did one layer here, one side of the pyramid, one layer. It's got a lot left to do, but I think that's probably what we'll run with. I think that's fine. I'm okay with that. It's still pretty much just sandstone up there, right? I got a little bit of birchwood fences mixed in too, but it's pretty much just sandstone, but by bringing it forward and creating arches and stuff, it creates all kinds of contrast, and the wall looks pretty crazy now. Maybe a bit too crazy even. But I think I'm okay with that. So I did not like the eyes that were being made, so I moved those little pivots a bit, and I actually tried to make a pattern with them, so it goes up like a wave sort of thing. I did the same thing on these gates. I think that's a key concept. Don't just do random. Try to create patterns for the eyes to pick up on. Like you see up there, I got like an arching pattern. Goes up and around. Same with over there. It goes up and around. It's not just like random chiseled blocks all over the place. So now we... Oh, I'm stuck in the reeds. So now we have a bit of a pattern on the wall there too, which I think is a good idea. A lot of times when people do these sandstone builds, they mix in buttons. Maybe we'll try that too. I don't know if we'll roll with that, but just to try it. Like usually they put them at the top there. The Adobe look. No. Not there. Might be better like over here? Oh, now I'm breaking everything. Darn it. No! Okay, at the very least here, we should also mix in some smooth stone and some chiseled blocks. So we haven't done that yet. So probably at the bottom here, we want some chiseled and then smooth and chiseled. We'll do that pattern. I think that'll make it look quite a bit better. Mining, 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 mining. Sandstone, sandstone. Building, 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 building. Misplace, misplace. Chopping, 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 chopping. Treetho, treetho. Swimming, 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 swimming. Cthulhu. All right, guys. So here we go. That is one side of the pyramid, possibly all done. I want to wait and get you guys' feedback before I do the other three sides here. Overall, I'm pretty happy with this, but I feel like it does need some changes still, right? There's I don't know, there's something not quite right about it still. For one thing, I think it needs a top, right? Something that stands out that's not the same repeating pattern, something that's different, kind of like a highlight. I also feel like maybe we have too many of these indents. When you see them all, like all the sides done here, all the layers, there's a lot of them. It looks like there's at least 30 or so of them, and it's kind of chaotic, maybe a bit too much. but I'll see what you guys say about that as well. Maybe we need to remove a few of them though, or change it. Possibly we need to break up the pattern a bit more too, like have a line that runs down the middle perhaps that kind of sticks out, or put more of these towers in it, or maybe windows of some sort. I'm not sure exactly. I want to see what you guys' thoughts are on that. Something I'm going to do here though, I want to make it look like sand is blown up alongside the building here and settled. So it's kind of going up on the side here, right? We'll do that. Also, we should get rid of all the grass around the building here. It's kind of taking away from it. And something we're not really going to see too often, but if we're ever flying, we might catch a glimpse of it. Like all the building we did over there, you see how there's birch wood at the top of the wall there? And on top of those gates, there's birch wood. We should replace the sandstone here with birch wood as well. I think that'll help give it a bit more color, a bit more texture. And also, this is where we're going to hide the lighting, I think. So if we want to light up the pyramid here, we'll put it in the floor, and you won't be able to see it from down below. So I think that's a good spot for it. One other idea, possibly mix in some birch leaves. I don't know, like if we have vines of this running down, it'll help break up the look of the whole thing. Is there any other block we can do that with? Like leaves are kind of the one and only block I know of that does this, right? Kind of like vines. Ooh, that's very straight there. But you get the idea. It looks pretty bad, I think. Maybe we won't do that. But, yeah, I thought I'd try it anyways. Ooh, I have an idea. Let's try something here. I just realized melon blocks kind of look like they could be cactuses, right? Cacti. We need some more decorations in our sandy city here, so maybe cacti are the way to go. But just normal cactus plants don't look very good, I find, because they can't branch out like this, right? That's the main issue with them. Let's go ahead and try make a standard cactus. So maybe it goes up like that. Actually, we should make this bigger, right? Let's make it go up one more block, like so, and then where should we do it? Let's do it here. That'll come out there, and then you want to go one block lower, and then this goes up. And then we will put maybe a flower pot on top to look like a flower. You know how they get the pink flowers? It needs a sombrero too on top of here, maybe. Okay, well let's try this out for right now. Does that look like a cactus? Question. I think you could pull it off. It kind of looks a little bit goofy with two long arms like that, though. Maybe this should be smaller. No, that looks bad. That looks bad. Nope. Yeah, maybe it was right the first time. I'm not sure. Yeah, it still doesn't look quite right. Anyways, there's an idea. I think that'll work, actually. It's a pretty good texture for a cactus, I think. Alright. Another thing I was thinking of, maybe we can try put some flower pots on the walls here to decorate. I don't know if you'd be able to see it from down below, but we have like these archways, right? I feel like we should put something in them. Or possibly we do like a cauldron plant. So like you do that, and then you put maybe spruce wood would be better. Oh, it kind of connects to the wall, though. That sucks. Could put a stair there, though. No, that's not going to work. Not enough space there. It would have to be brought out one. Like over here. Do that, and then you probably want at least 2 leaves. That's not going to look very good, I don't think. Probably can't see this stuff from down below. Yeah, it just looks like 2 leaf blocks. Can't see the flower pots at all down here. What do you guys think? Should the cactus have a sombrero or a flower on the top? I thought I'd try the sombrero. kind of actually works, I think. I don't know. I put some wooden buttons on for the spikes as well. Anyways, let's wrap up the episode here. For today, we are going to read the comment, which says, "Hey Etho, you should revive the stronghold base, and if not, then do you think you could at least make it look okay?" Maybe we'll head over there just real quick here. Okay, so we're over here at the stronghold base now. I don't go here too often, so some of you might have never seen this even. This is a very old part of our world, which was going to be like my main base. That was the plan for a long time, but then it just never really worked out. And I think I got distracted with stuff. I'm not sure. There's not a lot here. Like, we started building a storage room system here. Obviously, this is way outdated. I would never finish that. So probably most of the stuff on the sides would get torn out and redone. There's a silverfish farm here, which is actually a pretty cool thing, I think. And what else? This is where our portal to the end is. Believe it or not, I actually thought this looked good back in the day. I thought this was a very good build. Now when I see it, it makes my eyes bleed. The only real good quality of this is these tiles on the walls. I think that's a cool little trick. I noticed a lot of people use this too in their builds. But beyond that, most of this base is pretty bad. Up above, though, there's something important. There's the mob system. The plan was to make a bomb factory where you make a skeleton shoot a creeper, and then when you combine the skeleton with the creeper, they blow up. And I was going to try and make a tree farm, automated tree farm using that. We still possibly might do that. I would like to. The big problem I had a lot with this build was controlling the mob AI. It was very difficult to make a creeper sorter using the kitty cats. It wasn't very reliable. I would build it, it would work in creative, and then when I tried out here, it wouldn't work. But now they've changed it. Creepers are actually smaller than zombies and skeletons, so you can separate them very easily now. So we might be able to get this working one day. Also, I think the snowman got loose. I don't know how that happened. Hey. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. We might eventually finish building this base, or at least the bomb factory. But yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, take care. Bye bye.